Scientists have just dug up evidence of new technology that has been in existence for over 300,000 years. Archaeological digs worldwide have proven that ancient civilizations sometimes develop technologies that can even match up to present-day technology or even surpass it. However, this new technological discovery dug up by scientists doesn't appear to be from our planet. All indications point towards it being some alien technology. What is this technology? And why are scientists so shocked by it? Join us as we explore the discovery of ancient alien technology that is over 100,000 years old. Breaking the myths surrounding ancient technologies. Modern researchers have tried to replicate many ancient technologies, from Roman concrete to Damascus steel. After so many tries, we have found that the difficulty in replicating these technologies is due to a lack of documentation on their makeup or composition, not the inability to comprehend how they were made. Many see technological innovation as a linear process or a slow, steady race, but technology evolves at an exponential rate. Many ancient technologies are just as good as modern technologies, but the thought process behind them has long since been forgotten. Most inventors are considered geniuses, but all inventions are a monument to the intelligence level and scientific capability of an existing civilization. Most of these technologies were not created by chance or genius, as most people think. Scientists have discovered what we call an OOPArt. This doesn't appear to be from our planet and appears to be some technology of alien origin. What exactly are we talking about? What is an OOPArt? An OOPArt is an out-of-place artifact. It is also a name used to describe prehistoric artifacts that contradict their estimated age due to their degree of sophistication. OOPArts represent a challenge to traditional scientists, but to adventurous explorers and those interested in alternative scientific theories, it presents an opportunity to venture into new, thrilling discoveries. The Ural Mountains are ancient. They extend from Russia's north region to the south. These mountains divide Russia into two parts, Europe and Asia. People who live near these Ural Mountains have often reported experiencing strange events. Several tourists have been to see these mountains, and dozens have claimed to see cigar-shaped objects and weird sightings of fireballs. However, what has been discovered in the soil of this region is even more interesting than these sightings: archaeological gold. While trying to dig for gold, researchers embarked on an expedition to the mineral-rich region, only to discover what we can call archaeological gold. While excavating along the banks of the Kozim, Balbanyu and Narada rivers, situated 600 kilometers away from Archaim, a scattering of small metal coils and springs was discovered at depths of over 30 feet. The area around which this discovery was made is spread over tens of kilometers. It gives the impression that something exploded thousands of years ago and scattered bits and parts throughout the region. The research team proved that the excavated soil had remained undisturbed for hundreds or thousands of years. This discovery has sparked an ongoing debate. These small yet intriguing structures imply that there was a civilization with the technological know-how to create and handle nanotechnology about 300,000 years ago. Items found include spirals, shafts, coils, and other components that could not be identified. An examination at the Russian Academy of Sciences in Syktyvkar shows that the largest bits discovered were made with copper, while the smallest were made with tungsten and molybdenum. David Wilcock is an expert who gives his opinion about these discovered items. He said, "When you look down at them in a microscope, they're extremely regular in structure. They're very nice coils. The only way we can make them even now is with machine-guided technology. You cannot do this by hand." David went on to say that these items prove that someone had advanced technology sufficient to build the type of circuitry we usually see in semiconductors and computer chips. These are high-technology equipment that uses metals that are not commonly known. David is certain that these coils and spirals are clear evidence that someone had a very advanced civilization here on Earth in that region many, many years ago. The largest of these artifacts measured 1.18 inches, while the smallest is about 1/10,000th of an inch in length. These artifacts were all found at a depth of 10 to 40 feet in geological status, estimated to be at least 20,000 years old. The shape of the artifacts suggests that they were produced and are not naturally occurring fragments. The artifacts have been proven to have the same microscopic components as modern nanotechnology. Some have claimed that these objects are not as old as claimed and are debris from test rockets fired from the Plesetsk space station in Moscow, Russia. However, the Moscow Institute contradicts that claim by determining that these artifacts are far too old to be a result of modern manufacturing. Dr. E.W. Medvedeva of the Central Scientific Research Department of Geology and Exploitation of Precious Metals in Moscow wrote in 1996 that despite being thousands of years old, these artifacts are technological in nature. How did ancient civilization build such technologically advanced parts, and what were their uses? Some believe that these coils are proof that the human species was capable of advanced technology during the Pleistocene period. To others, the simple explanation is that these artifacts come from extraterrestrial civilizations. These artifacts have been examined at different research centers in St. Petersburg, Moscow, and Helsinki. However, the death of the lead researcher, Dr. Johann Fiebag, halted the research in 1999. Dr. Valery Ovarov of St. Petersburg has a theory that proposes that these nanostructures are the components of a huge transmitting and receiving antenna. If this theory can be proven, we can surely say that aliens exist. It is scientifically impossible for our species to have created such technologically advanced equipment 100,000 years ago. At that time, the Neanderthal man was still very much alive. From the beginning of this discovery, some skeptics have believed that the measurements from the dig had been manipulated. Some believe that the entire discovery was a hoax. However, similar artifacts have been excavated along the banks of the Kozim and Balbanyu rivers. Investigations of these newly unearthed samples have been transferred to other laboratories, and the research concluded with similar results. This solidifies the claims that these coils and spirals are components of some extraterrestrial technology. Does this discovery prove that aliens exist, or that ancient human civilization is just as technologically advanced as present-day civilization? Before we jump to conclusions, let's talk about some encounters with aliens that may help convince you of their existence. There have been very few encounters in American UFO history that have sparked worldwide interest and speculation. One of them is the Roswell incident. It was the summer of 1947 in Roswell, New Mexico. The Cold War had just begun when the United States Army Air Force came out with shocking news. They claimed to have recovered a flying disc from a ranch close to Roswell. It's been over 70 years, yet this area is still known for this incident. Roswell now has a UFO museum and research center. It has alien-themed streetlights, a McDonald's with a flying saucer theme, and you can even see an alien family stranded with their broken-down UFO on the side of State Route 285, asking for help if you wish to. However, beneath all the UFO stories, there is an unsettling truth. The events of this summer in 1947 have several contradictory stories and cover-ups to which the government has admitted. There are stories about it being an actual UFO, some experimental spy plane, or the fault of the Russians. The Roswell Daily Record published an article about the crash and the claim made by the RAAF. Once the news became public, US Army officials retracted their initial claims and began insisting that the crash was a weather balloon, not a flying saucer. They even went as far as to release images that show Major Marcel with fragments of the weather balloon as concrete proof. UFO enthusiasts have been very skeptical about this explanation. They believe that the government's turnaround was a very shabby cover-up. In 1994, a study was issued by the US Air Force. This study admitted that the story about the weather balloon was a blatant lie. The Roswell incident wasn't the only intriguing UFO encounter on US soil. On the afternoon of June 24, 1947, an amateur aviator, Kenneth Arnold, was flying near Mount Rainier in Washington when he saw 9 odd objects on the horizon. Arnold spoke about his encounter, saying these unidentified flying objects flitted from side to side and flipped in tandem like the tail of a Chinese kite. According to his calculations, Arnold believed these objects were traveling at 1,700 miles per hour, faster than any aircraft could fly at the time. The SR-71 Blackbird, an aircraft capable of up to 2,199 miles per hour, didn't take to the skies until 1964. Arnold suspected that these flying objects were probably secret military vehicles, but he concluded that they would remain a mystery to him as they were to everyone else. Arnold's account spread like wildfire around the country. Reporters picked up the story, and the term flying saucers was soon reserved for use when talking about flying alien crafts. Arnold's encounter at the Roswell incident started a wave of flying saucer sightings in the United States. Many of these claims were dismissed by the military as fake, but it is worth noting that some of these sightings were made by air traffic controllers and pilots, people we can call experts when it comes to flying objects. This wave of UFOs matched the outbreak of the Cold War between the United States and Russia, making many people think that these sightings were secret Russian spy planes. Late in 1947, Lieutenant General Nathan Twining issued a memo that declared that flying saucers are real, not some imagination or fiction. The general proposed that the military investigate the origin of these sightings. In response to this memo, the Air Force launched Project Sign, the first of 3 military agencies to look into and analyze data about unidentified flying objects. Project Sign concluded in record time that UFOs were not of Russian origin. They also concluded that the flight characteristics of these objects do not match any artificial aircraft. Project Sign issued a report claiming that these UFO encounters could prove that aliens exist. However, this report was rejected and destroyed, with Air Force officials blaming it on a lack of evidence to support the claims. No copy of that report can be found in military records and files. Do you think we have aliens living among us masquerading as fellow humans? Comment yes or no in the comment section.